what I want to talk about is that idea of really learning to take the time, and it comes out of the experience I had last night. Some of you, no doubt, watching this were part of the small group we did on the book Theo of Golden. So a few things. Theo of Golden, well worthwhile reading. If you can find a book club to go through it with, well worthwhile doing. And it was interesting last night. We're doing these closing thoughts, and one of the ones that's so clear about this book is it's a book about really seeing other people, and it's seeing the holiness, it's seeing the angel in other people, and it's not done in a trite way. It's done like, yeah, you really have to look. And it's not that every relationship ends up resolving in the book, or that it's a book about perfection, or that it's like a Hallmark movie. It's none of those things. It ends up, as life always does, blessed, broken, shared. Some good stuff happens, some bad stuff happens, and we get to share the ride with both. But it does end up with this really deep, rich view towards the goodness of life, like literally looking at the goodness, taking the time to see the goodness in other people. And that sounds so simple, right? And it's so incredibly difficult to really see the goodness in other people. One of the lines I loved, and it was a line that talked about kind of the way this perspective works. I think where we build it from our heart, and then that's how we see. And it's the memorial dress for the hero of the book, Theo. To us, he was Theo the familiar. To us, he will always be the face of heaven. And I love that idea, right? Of it's this beautiful admixture that we're privileged to see in people, of the holy and the familiar. And it's interesting to think of the holy and the familiar. It's interesting to think of the holies up here, the familiars down here, and the holies to sort of draw us out of our just our normal day-to-day life. And there are times where clearly, obviously it does, but at the same time, we can also find really so much holiness in the familiar, in life at this level. That idea of sea level, not SEA, but sea level, SEE. Sea level Christianity, where we're really seeing it at this eye level. I think that's an incredibly beautiful way to hold it. It makes a huge difference out there in the world. And I want to talk about that a little bit, and talk about how that works, and how that moves forward in our lives, and why it's so important. I think we really have to do that, because that is what brings heaven here on earth, and that is that practice. And it was interesting reading this book, and this book is about a man who starts to see people, and it's their response to his seeing. And and then we're closing in the group. I think there were 11 of us on the call last night, on the Zoom call. And I just thought, oh yeah, here it is. We're actually living this book. Not in a way that we wouldn't go into it saying, well, we're going to live like Theo lived. But that's what ends up happening. And even if we hadn't read the book and had done a different book, it's exactly what would have happened. We got in a group, we took the time, we connected with each other, and it made a huge difference. And here's the miracle part for me, right? Is it was a 3-hour commitment, 3 weeks, 1 hour a week, 3-hour commitment. I guarantee the majority of those of us watching, and I would include myself in this easily, probably spend twice that, on screens during the day. And yet here was this little oasis of sorts, this time of seeing, this time of hearing, this time of connecting. And it was in this time of seeing, hearing, and connecting. It was in times that we live in right now that feel so angst-driven and so angry a lot of the time, and so filled with a lot of contempt. And here we were, and we were just talking about goodness. And I have no doubt that there were people from the far right to the far left on this call. But it didn't matter, because we're talking about the goodness of life and sort of shoving all that stuff where it belongs, just off on the side, off in our peripheral vision, because this heart of goodness is where we want to be. And that heart of goodness will give us the perspective to deal with the contentious things. It will give us the perspective to deal with the hard things. It will give us the perspective to address contempt in our own heart and in society. It will give us the heart to do those things. That's really what matters. And I just can't urge people enough. Like, take the time to do those things. I don't know what it looks like for you. I don't know what lights you up. I loved this book group. I have had a great time in cooking groups, or a great time, in sporting groups, or a great time with sermon writing team, or, find those things and see if you can find some that are just a hair above just basic interests. And if you go to a group like an interest group, see if you can elevate the group just a little bit above interests. Interests are great. Like I love cooking, right? A cooking class is terrific. And can you take it to that, just that little bit of that next level? What does food mean to you? Or when you cook, who's the person who comes to mind? Or was food a love language for a grown up? I mean, there's all kinds of questions. I mean, myriad of them you can ask. But it's continually trying to bump that conversation up, because that's what we are supposed to do. That is what we are here to do. That is where life really comes alive. And we get distracted, we get busy, we get, we try to be efficiency experts in our own lives. And let me tell you, there's nothing less efficient than a small group. And but let me tell you, it's a lot more efficient than just doom scrolling. that's for sure. Yeah, and just friends, like, the whole thing is take the time. Like, figure out a way, take the time. If you want help with doing that, please just shoot a note. You and I can hop on a Zoom call. If you're looking to run a small group, I could give you ideas. I would, if time permits and it works into my schedule, I'd be glad to help you out with it, co-leading it. Because I do think these things really do matter in life. They really, really do matter. And as part of that, shifting gears a little bit now, this is sort of a public service announcement with that, is we have a couple little things coming up in terms of connection. One is this weekend we'll be down in Pawleys Island, South Carolina, down the Charleston area. We will be preaching down there. We do that several times a year. So if you're in that area, please feel free to drop me a note. And it's a wonderful group of people down there, wonderful New Church Live folks who've moved down there will be joining us. And the other one is mid-July, July 15th. We are doing another gathering around grief and loss, which is a big topic many people wrestle with. And again, nothing better than getting together, really seeing each other, hearing each other, getting a chance to converse that way. So those are two options coming up. And regardless, friends, spirituality is a beautiful thing, and it's never meant to just be thought about. It's meant to be lived. And that's why, in the Swedenborgian tradition, the New Church tradition, we talk a lot about trying to embody a Christianity where religion is of life and the life of religion is to do good. In other words, there's connection between religion and life, and the two should be seamlessly integrated as one. And that's what God's asking us to do. So I hope that makes a lot of sense, dear friends. And what we're going to do now, as we always do, is we're going to shift gears. We're going to come in for a gentle landing here. I'm going to offer a prayer. I'm going to offer a little meditation, a little prayer, a little blessing, and then we'll say hi to friends who've joined us on Facebook. So with that, dear friends, let's get a little breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's get a little look here, and I hope you all had a wonderful day yesterday. I hope you all have a wonderful day ahead of you. All right, a few notes here. Martha, good morning to you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Linda writes, Thea of Gold is such a wonderful book of transformation and embracing life. The group was a moving experience. Thank you for the experience. Looking forward to the next book. Yes, and we are as well. We may be doing something, a book with, yes, a book with a nonprofit we worked with before, which would be kind of a fun, different way to do it, which I love. All righty. Cherry, good morning to you, my dear friend. I hope you're doing well. Buck, great to see you joining us from way down under. And yeah, just God bless all you folks. We will see you again tomorrow